All right, a very good evening to all of you. Hello, good evening, parents and students. My name is Dorcas, and I am the Campus Director for NIEC TP. Well, you can see from the slides over here, it starts with a big heart to shape little minds. So let's get on to the presentation. So this is myself. I am Dorcas and I'm the Campus Director for NIEC TP. You can see from this set of slides that there is also Miss Jeannie, who is my course chair. And she's not available to join us today, but if you're here as our student, Miss Jeannie will be one of the familiar faces that you liaise with from time to time. Now, I am sure most of you are joining us for this session because you somehow have an inkling or an inner voice that's telling you, hey, early childhood course might be something that is interesting and suitable for me and my personality. So let me show you a video that might give you some inkling about children and their thoughts.
Huh? What? A copycat? A copywriter copies a person's writing. They copy? That's bad. You must think of your own idea. Treasure does nothing. The treasurer hides treasures in secret places. Inside the treasure are gold. Monies, golden monies. They carry everything, everywhere, and capture all the bad guy. The sign will say don't run. If they run, then the security guard will say, hey, what are you doing? Don't rush. A teacher teaches students Chinese and mathematics, history, art, English, racing. If we don't have teachers, we don't know how to do anything. Teachers does a lot of things. My teacher helped me with my cuts. She put a bandage. It was very painful. Now it's gone. I also need to listen what my teacher says so I can be clever. Teachers have teachers. Teachers go to school so they can teach their children how to be nice to one another.
Thank you. So if this video speaks to you and makes you even more intrigued and like, hey, I really want to find out more about, what it takes to work with young children, stay on and we will share with you more in the subsequent session. Before that, my Director CEO of NIEC would like to say hello to all of us.
Hi everyone, Mrs. Loh here. You are at an important educational crossroad. With so many different courses and possible career options, you must be wondering what to do after graduating from your secondary schools. If you're warm and caring, love being around young children, and want to make a difference in their lives, then becoming an early childhood educator is the profession for you. You will get to learn about children's growth and development and nurture their curious minds. You will also be joining a growing sector as the demand for EC educators will continue to rise over the next few years. There are various career progression pathways in the early childhood sector, ranging from leadership to specialized roles like early intervention to support children with developmental needs to mother tongue language teaching. There are also upgrading opportunities like in-service courses to further hone your knowledge and skills when you become an early childhood educator. Moreover, you can leverage on our early childhood teaching diploma to subsequently pursue a degree course. Through NIEC's practice-oriented training, we will prepare you to be a confident, competent, and work-ready EC educator. There'll be many opportunities for hands-on experiences like internships and practicums, where you'll be exposed to real-world scenarios in preschool settings. You will also get to explore beyond the classrooms and go on learning journeys. You will have a dual identity where you will get to enjoy perks of being both an NIEC student and the polytechnic or ITE you are enrolled in. You'll be learning from our practitioner-based lecturers with diverse areas of expertise, from inclusive practices in classrooms to outdoor experiences for the little ones. They will not only be able to share their knowledge, but also provide the support and guidance you will need every step of the way. Every child deserves a great teacher. So if you think you have what it takes, come join us at NIEC. Hi.
Okay, some of us might be asking, I thought I registered for a TP Early Childhood Diploma talk. So how did NIEC come into the picture? So don't worry, you didn't go into the wrong link. So who is NIEC? So we are the National Institute of Early Childhood Development. So it is the National Training Institute for Early Childhood Educators. So just like how NIE trains the primary school and the secondary school teachers, so at NIEC, we train the preschool teachers to care for the younger children. So NIEC is a national training institute set up by MOE to train teachers for the early childhood sector so that you can train and nurture young children under your care. And our aim is actually to provide quality training and professional development for early childhood educators at every stage of your career. So what does that mean? So meaning next time when you graduate and you want to go deeper in a specific area of early childhood, whether is it in the area of outdoor learning or whether is it in the area of mentoring, leadership, we are there to be able to support you at every stage of your career. So this means that after you graduate and become a preschool teacher, you can still continue your learning journey by taking courses with NIEC. So NIEC and TP will prepare you as you embark on this journey of becoming a preschool educator. So you read in the caption here that it takes heart and skill to teach children. So really, in order for us to be able to work with children, you really need to have a heart for them. The skills can come later, and which is why we are here today. So later on, we will get to hear from some of our students and our alumni, what were the things that they learned and how their diploma experience was like for the past 3 years. And if you have any questions, you can always type in the chat function of this particular Zoom app, and we will try our best to reply. Yep, can we go on to the next slide? Okay, all right. So we have actually 3 diplomas and 1 higher NITEC certificate in early childhood education that is available for you, stated in the slide over here. So the certificate is available in ITE Ang Mo Kio College Central, which is the first pink box. The 2 diplomas in the early childhood development and education, ECDE in short, is offered by NIEC in both the TP as well as NP campuses. So if you are keen to apply for ECDE, you can list both our campuses, NP and TP, and that will count as 2 choices. Now you must be asking, how come TP, NP, and ITE campuses? What does that mean? Let me bring you to the next slide. So you see, we actually have 2 early childhood related diplomas available for you, and you can choose which are listed in this slide. The first one is the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education. This is what we call the ECDE. This is the diploma that trains you to become a preschool teacher And with this diploma, you can actually register with ECDE as a preschool teacher in any childcare or kindergarten. It is available in both Ngee Ann Poly and TP campuses. So then you might be asking, what's the difference between this diploma that is taught in these two campuses? Well, both diplomas are harmonized, meaning we teach the same early childhood modules, but we do have a little bit of differentiation. So what you learn and your assignments and tests is the same for these modules that are the same. However, when it comes to specialization track, that's where the two campuses will differ. So in TP campus, we have two specialization tracks. One is in the area of visual arts. So for example, in this particular specialization track, if you're very interested in the area of visual arts, you will take modules like 2D and 3D art, book illustration, as well as digital and new media. The other specialization track that we have at the TP campus is actually the mother tongue language teaching for Malay language. So modules like Malay grammar, Malay language and literacy, as well as teaching Malay through the arts will be taught in this specialization track. So whereas in our MP, our Ngee Ann Poly sister school, their specialization is in the area of early intervention, as well as mother tongue language teaching for Chinese, as well as mother tongue language teaching for Tamil language. You would also have noticed in point 2 over here that there is this thing mentioned about, cross-campus teaching. So what is cross-campus or cross-campus learning? Now, this is possible under our NIEC structure of having multiple campuses in Singapore itself. For example, for our students that's in TP, next time, say, for example, you enroll into our course, if you are interested in taking up the speech and drama elective, which is not available with us, but available in Ngee Ann Poly campus, what you can do is you can opt for it, and we will be able to arrange for you to take this in your 3rd year. So instead of taking this particular module here, this part on drama elective, you can actually go over to Ngee Ann Poly campus to actually take over there, and you can actually make friends with your friends over at Ngee Ann Poly campus. Similarly, for our Ngee Ann Poly students who are interested to take up 2D and 3D module, they can also come over to TP campus to experience this cross-campus experience and make more friends. Next slide. The 3rd diploma that we have is actually the Diploma in Tamil Studies with Early Education, which is only available in Ngee Ann Poly campus only. So this diploma trains you to be a Tamil language preschool teacher. The second diploma, and this is the second diploma that we have. Now, if you happen to know friends who are very keen in the area of early childhood, but yet they fall short, of the eligibility for the Diploma Early Childhood courses, please let them know that we have a higher NITEC in Early Childhood Education certificate at NIEC ITE at Ang Mo Kio College Central. So, what's being an NIEC student like? You will have dual identity as a student. And what does that mean? So meaning if you are enrolled into TP campus, you will be a TP student as well as an NIEC student at the same time. The diploma that you graduate with will also have the logos of the two institutions. You will receive quality foundational training provided by NIEC lecturers as well as lecturers from TP. The active diploma is a practice-based diploma, and you will have a lot of opportunities to hone your skills by going out into the centers for extended periods of time to learn from the practitioners in authentic preschool settings. In your first year, you will be out for 10 days, followed by 5 weeks in your second year, and in your 3rd year, there will be an internship program that will last for 6 months. And of course, besides all this training, you will need to enjoy campus life like any other 17 and 18-year-olds. You will have CCAs, overseas trips, and various activities planned out throughout the 3 years to see to your holistic development throughout these 3 years with us. So all our early admissions exercise applicants will be offered the ECDE Training Award, as well as our JAE candidates. You will also be offered an ECDE Training Award, and all of you, all you have to do is to go through an interview with them for a selection process. Now, what is this award? So this award is given by the Early Childhood Development Agency, ECDE in short. And this particular agency is actually in charge of all the childcares in Singapore itself. So your course fee will be fully sponsored, and you will also be receiving monthly study allowance of 800 from the year when the sponsorship commences. And of course, with this particular ECDE award, you will need to fulfill a full year of bond in an ECDE licensed preschool after you graduate for every year of support that you receive from them. If you're interested to actually know more about this, you can actually, go into the ECDE website and then to key in ECDE Training Award to know more about it. So what happens after the course? So, well, some of you can become preschool educator when you graduate. For some of you, if you realize that, hey, my passion is in working with a specific group of students, this diploma will provide you with the foundation in knowing about their development. With further studies, there is a variety of other options available in areas like, for example, child support and family services, special needs education, as well as play therapy. Some of you also might want to continue with your studies before you start working, and you can take up NIEC's post-diploma or continuing professional development courses, or you can actually apply for the full-time Bachelor of Early Childhood Education in SUSS. So, for those of you who are going to receive your results soon, the JAE is coming up soon on the 12th of January. So do take note of the timeline that is given to select the courses that you're keen to study. So for those of you who still have some time because you are not in your final year of secondary school, you are still in your Sec 2 or Sec 3, but you're joining us today to get more information, just remember that we will always have the early admissions exercise each year in May. So your school will inform you to get ready all your portfolio and information. Do remember to indicate your course of interest so that you can earn yourself a space to be interviewed, so that you can secure a place of your desired course in advance if the interview is successful. For those of you who are die-hard fans of early childhood, you can't see yourself doing anything else except being in a classroom with toddlers and young children, you are encouraged to list ECDE, which is the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education, the course codes N96 as well as T68 for both the polys in your choices during the admission exercises. Now, let's find out, and hear from our ECDE students who are with us today. We have Miss Kelly as well as Miss No Liana with us. So Miss Kelly is actually our alumni who have actually just graduated, and she's currently working with Maple Best Childcare. And then we have Miss Liana. Hi, Liana and Kelly. Can you say hi to our students and our parents that's with us today?
Hello.
Okay, Liana is actually with us because she's our third-year student, and I thought that both of them can actually give you a little bit of insights into what is expected for our students when they are with us, and also what are some of the maybe challenges that they face as students when they were studying with us or when they were having their internships. All right, so maybe I will start with Liana first. All right. So Liana, I recall that you went to junior college, you went through the junior college route after your O-levels. So what made you decide to switch to the polytechnic route instead? And why did you choose, the Diploma in Early Childhood course?
So
after my A level, I actually took a gap year to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. So during that gap year, I actually worked at an enrichment center, and I worked as a teacher teaching English and math to children aged between 5 to 6 years old. So it's actually the preschool age. So I was teaching children phonics and math. So during that time when I was working there for that 1 year, I actually realized my passion for teaching, especially children. Yeah, so after some time, then I decided, okay, maybe this is actually my calling to do early childhood. So that's why the following year, which was in 2020, I went to open house. That I decided after like looking through the course like exactly and know more about it, I was like, okay, this is what I want to study and this is what I want to do. So that's why I enrolled into early childhood at TP to do this class. Yeah.
Okay. So it was actually a chance kind of experience that you had, which actually made you realize that, hey, this is perhaps what I want to see in terms of my career choice in time to come, and which is why you actually chose the ECDE course itself.
Right.
So having gone through, poly life, now that you're in your third year, and also having had experience of, going through, a JC kind of, route, what are you able to actually help us see what is the difference, between these two routes in the area of maybe learning or maybe adapting to school life? And what is it about poly life that you enjoy?
The main difference you can actually see that in JC it's actually 2-year programs, whereas in poly it's actually 3 years, right? So from there you can actually tell that during my JC years, it was since it was really short and it's because it's exam based most of the time, I felt that it was really stressful because you have to memorize and learn content within that short period of time. Whereas in poly, since it's 3 years and then you have for each semester, there are modules that you take and it's more assignment based. So I actually felt that I had more time to do my assignments since I had more time, so I can actually pace myself out and do my assignments according to my own schedule. So I get to set what I want to do and how am I going to do it to reach that deadline. Yeah, so that's the main difference when I actually entered poly. I could tell that I am in like control of my own studies when I'm in poly now. Yeah, I really like the poly structure. It's easier for me to actually study and do for example, there's lectures and tutorials, right? So for us, our lectures are online. So I get to if I don't understand something, I get to rewatch the lectures and then I can actually ask my tutors about it. Yeah.
So now that you brought up a point that the lectures are online, so it even if, let's say, for example, sometimes we have our tired days when we attend lectures. If, let's say, you happen to be very tired during that moment in time, you miss out certain things, there is always this, chance for you to actually go back and re-look at the videos again to actually do your revision. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Liana. So maybe I come to Kelly. So Kelly, you're an alumni. You just graduated this year in May. Congratulations. So right now you're working at Maple Bear Preschool. So perhaps can you share with us what was your memorable experience during your time in NIECTP?
I think my most memorable experience was during my final year internship, so the 6 months program. And I think it's because I developed a very strong bond with the class that I was taking at the time, which was the playgroup class. So over a period of 6 months, at first it seemed really daunting because it's like, wow, 6 months is a long time compared to in your first year, you only have 10 days. So this is a longer period of time. So when I first joined, I had a lot of apprehension, like how am I going to do as an actual teacher, carrying out lessons for 6 months. But then over time, you would ease into it. And I think that I developed a very strong bond with the children and the teachers there. Until now, I still meet my mentor from my internship program here and there for lunch, as well as my intern partner. So because of all those bonds that I created, or the relationship that I made during the internship, not just with the children, but with, let's say, the staff or with the other students that were with me, I felt that the internship was my most memorable experience. Yeah, because doing lessons with the playgroup was my first time taking the playgroup class in my internship. So previously I was taking K2, so it's quite a big jump. So yeah, I had a really nice time because the children are, first of all, very cute. And every day you go home, you're going to have stories that you can tell your friends and your parents about how the kids would have all these funny things to say or whatever nonsense that they did during lessons sometimes. So those are very entertaining things that I think it's hard to find in other jobs, and it's a very fulfilling role. So during my time there, I think my internship was my favorite and most memorable experience.
And perhaps, Liana can also share with us, because Liana also has got practicum experiences and all that. So were there also other, memorable experience that you had when you had your practicum?
I actually finished intern in previous semester. So I was attached to a School for Kids campus. So I was put in a K1 classroom. I think my most memorable experience during my internship was that being able to interact with these children every day. Throughout the 6 months, I can actually feel that I've created bonds with them. Especially in the morning, every single day they will greet me like good morning and a hug. It's just something that you can't really get now that you're back in school, right? So this is like most memorable. Every day I actually look forward to seeing them and interacting with them. And the other memorable moment is actually getting to celebrate celebrations with them, which I didn't get to experience in my past 2 practicums since it was very short, right? So during my internship, I had a lot of celebrations with them. We did a lot of events. So I was able to actually be part of the event and with the teachers in the planning process, as well as actually doing it. So it was very fun to be a part of this process.
Okay, sounds like you guys actually have quite, the experiences that you guys mentioned as being memorable was actually because of the bond that you have actually built with the students as well as with the staff. There's one question that's egging me at the back of my mind that I want to chat with Kelly. Now, during your internship, you mentioned that you were actually working with children from the play group. Just in case, our participants over here are not aware, would you be able to share with us, for the group of children who are in play group, how old were they? And, what were they basically doing in the classroom? Yeah.
So for play group, we can call it N1 or nursery 1. The children are age 3. So some of them just recently turned 3, so maybe ages 2 to 3-ish. Yeah. For that age, because it's their beginning stages of them really beginning to explore different concepts and expressing themselves. So it's very interesting because they're still at the stage where, let's say, they're still babbling a bit. They're not really sure how to express themselves in full sentences, but they're still able to talk, and they're very eager to share a bit of thoughts. So every day you get different kind of phrases coming out of their mouth. So a few of them would come and complain to me, Miss Kelly, my friend called me hot dog. And they would get mad about that. So it's them really exploring different concepts and trying to understand different words and how, they interpret certain situations. So it's a very interesting experience because you still have those that will be eating like rocks and stuff because they're still at a young age. So they're really exploring with their different senses, and they would put certain things in their mouth. But then they're also at the age where they're trying to interpret what is happening or really understand the situation. So when the teacher looks at them, then they will take it out of their mouth, then they put it down. So they understand maybe the concept of, okay, I shouldn't be eating this, but part of them also thinks, I want to try, like tasting with my different senses and everything. So that was a very interesting experience. I had children also because at their age, they're very, very affectionate. And like I mentioned, because they are not very verbal yet, for some of them, when they come to you and you are able to see their development from, let's say, the start of my internship to the end, throughout the 6 months, some of them who are not so verbal ended up speaking more sentences or more phrases towards the end, which was something that I thought was really fulfilling for me to see. As an educator, when you look at the children that initially, like at the start, they weren't able to really express their thoughts or needs, at the end, they were able to speak to me in short sentences, which was something that was very heartwarming. And I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Kelly. I think one of the things that both students or both ladies have actually spoken about very much is actually about this experience that they have with children. So students as well as parents who are listening in, I think one of the things that we have actually mentioned earlier in the slides is actually this particular diploma is a very practice-based diploma, meaning we do cover our lectures, but we also try to give our students a lot of opportunities to actually practice your skills in the childcare itself or in the preschool. So there is a lot of opportunities for you to actually learn how to work with professionals in the preschool itself, so that you are actually given the opportunity to be able to practice the theories that you have learned and also to practice the skills that you have actually acquired in the classrooms itself. And some of our students will find that very, very meaningful because, you know, they are just not learning the theory by heart, but they actually get to apply it in a real setting. And having that actually makes a lot of difference in terms of their own learning, judging from what the two ladies have actually, you know, shared with us. Now, perhaps also, could you share with us, Liana, how has the lessons that are being taught in school helped you during your practicum as well as your internship period?
The lessons taught in school has prepared me for the internship experience, because the modules taught in school, so for example, early numeracy and language and literacy, they actually teach us like some of the basic concepts, and I am able to apply what I have learned to the lessons that I teach. So for example, by creating developmentally appropriate lesson plans, so it caters to the age group that I am actually teaching. Also, some of the modules that we learn, so for example, like child development, we will learn like theories about children, right? So it actually helps me to understand my children better and about like their growth. So I know like what stages my children are at, and also how they are like in their personalities and stuff like that.
Yeah. So these are some of the lessons that has been taught in a classroom, but yet at the same time, you have this opportunity for you to actually bring it into, you know, the actual classroom itself, for you to practice some of these skills itself. Now, for Kelly, because you have actually graduated already, now as you know, recall back and all that, besides, you know, the diploma and all that, how was poly like for you?
I think poly for me was a very fulfilling and fun experience. And it's mainly because I think I was quite active in joining the school events. So from there, I got to meet people from different courses, especially different years. So for the events that took place in school that I participated in would be, let's say, open house, which is something that is happening right now. So in the previous year's open house, I actually participated as those helpers, where I interacted with students at the booth, or let's say I participated in Purple Parade. And that was an opportunity for me to learn more about the exceptional people in our community and how we can help them better. And I thought that because of all these events all together, I had a really good experience getting to know all the students and even the teachers from different courses and students from different years. So I ended up having a lot of different friends, not just from my class or not just within my course, but from all over HSS. So in the end, I think that was what contributed to my very vibrant polytechnic life. And that's something that I actually really miss a lot now that I'm working.
How about Liana? Liana is our third year, right? So, you know, now that you are about to graduate soon, because I think coming April, you know, yeah, that will be the last time that you'll be with us. You know, you will actually, yeah. So, what do you think will be some of the things that you will miss about poly life?
I will actually miss my friends now. Like I already poly is very fun for me because of the circle of friends that I actually have. I think I will actually miss interacting with them, coming to school every day and looking forward to seeing them, because once we graduate, we will be we're working at different companies, like some may actually be continuing studying. So that's one thing I would miss. And yeah, like the whole school experience, we will be done with it already and actually becoming a working adult. I'll miss that.
So if, because right now we have some parents and we might also have some students that are, you know, potential students of the early childhood course with us. So if, you know, for both of you, if you can have the opportunity to inspire potential, you know, ACDE students, what would you like to tell them?
Liana, you want to go first? Or...
Um, choose ECDE because the lecturers are really, really nice and friendly. It's when I first came to year one, I actually can tell how the lecturers are really nice, very welcoming. So it creates a very nice environment for us to study. And they are really approachable, especially if you have questions about your assignments, you can just ask them. And they are willing to guide you and help you to go through your assignments. And even though if it's not assignment based also, you can actually just talk to them and be nice with them because they're very friendly. So you can talk about anything to them and they will actually just talk to you also. Yeah.
Thank you, Liana. Yes, Kelly?
That is something that I agree with 100%, like wholeheartedly. I really do miss my lecturers over there also, apart from my friends, because I remember a lot of the conversations that we had, like, not even just about early childhood. You can talk to them about your own experiences and they're very open to, just having conversations with you. So they're not just like your lecturers, but I feel like you can almost treat them as your friends that you can seek advice from. Yeah. For me, I would say join ECDE because one, the experience with working with young children is very fulfilling. It's something that you don't really get in a lot of jobs. Like, let's say them hugging you after class, or them greeting you in the morning with a hug, or getting random compliments. Like sometimes I would just walk into school and then I'll hear, Miss Kelly, you're so pretty today. Yeah. Like, which other job can you get that? I think that kind of experience is something that really makes your whole role as a teacher even more fulfilling and even more wholesome. So it's not just about teaching lessons. It's really about developing a bond with your students and really building relationships with not just the kids also, but with the parents. And you end up having this really close-knit family with your own class children. And I feel that even as a teacher who is not always with them by their side, I spend a lot of time with them in school. And it ends up, when I see my kids, let's say like graduate, or when they're having their concert, when I see my toddler start to speak in actual sentences, it's something that will make me feel very touched. And I felt like I was part of their growth and development, and I was there to witness from the start to the end, like how their development has been, which is something that's really, as an educator, the feeling that you get when you see your kids develop, or seeing that they are able to reach different points in their milestones or learning stages. It's a really different kind of experience when you are able to feel that. So join ECDE because it's a very wholesome, very fulfilling kind of job. And it's something that I think in other industries, I feel that ours, because we're working so closely with children and so closely with other people, right? It's something that will really shape you as a person, the views that you have on your life, because you really get to interact with so many different kind of people, and that will help you to get better perspectives of how you are as a person, or how the world works with children. So yes, join ECDE. I really enjoyed my experience.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Liana. All right, so maybe we can actually look at a short video clip to actually understand a little bit more about what is the life experiences like for an ECDE student. Okay, so that's more or less about the life of an early childhood educator. Okay, so now it's actually the Q&A session. I reckon that some of you have actually, put in some questions. So one of the questions is, I think some of you heard about, the practicum as well as the internship that we have. And definitely those practicums as well as internships, it means you spending a longer period of time in the childcare or in the preschool sector. So some of you are asking questions like, can I choose my own internship center to be attached to? So you will not be choosing your own internship center, and there is no need for you to look for your own internship center or practicum center for you to be attached to, because we do have a team, a field practicum team in our HQ that will be able to do that, that linking between you as well as the centers. And also for you to actually be well looked after, we do have certain criteria for the kind of center that you are supposed to be matched with. So for example, the distance away from your house, we try not to have anything that, you have to travel for more than an hour, for each trip for you to travel to the center. Another set of criteria will be things like, would there be mentors inside these, centers to be able to see to your learning. We also don't want you to go in there and then you are like stuck there alone and you're not sure what you are learning, what is right and what is wrong. We need them to actually have a qualified mentor to be able to supervise and also to be able to guide you along. So, and also at the same time, are these centers, certified by ACDA as having the SPARC, certification. So these are some of the criteria that we need to look into before we match you to the center itself. So yeah, in short, the answer to your question is, no, you don't need to look for your own center, and also there is no need for you to choose your own center. All right, we will do the matching for you. There is also another question over here that says, what are the other career options for students after they graduate from the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education? So with the rising demand for early childhood services, students are strongly encouraged to take on the role as an early childhood educator, because this is what the diploma trains you in. So there are other options that is stated out over here in the slides itself. So in the area of curriculum planning, in the area of children book illustrations, or specializing in niche areas, for example, music and movements or visual arts. Okay, so that's also some of those areas that you can actually go in if, let's say, you are willing to go for further studies in. What is the career progression like in this industry? So I think like what I mentioned earlier on, if after you graduate, you can actually straight away be able to work with, with this particular diploma itself, you can actually work with children from 18 months all the way to 6 years old in the preschool as well as the childcare centers. For some of you who have aspirations, hey, after a few years of being a teacher, I would also want to become like a principal in a center. Yes, that is also possible, but of course you need to actually have experience as a teacher first. If you don't have an experience to be a teacher, it's kind of difficult for you to be able to lead a team of teachers, because then you cannot role model what they are required to do in the classrooms itself. So with that, if you want to be a principal, of course, then you also have to attend further studies in this area of leadership course. There's a diploma, advanced diploma in the area of leadership that you need to attend in order to become a supervisor or a leader within the childcare center or the preschool itself. Other areas would be things like, for example, what we mentioned just now. After a few years of working with children, you realize that, hey, actually, I think I also want to branch into this area of doing curriculum writing. Yep, that is also an area that you can go into. Okay. Is it compulsory? Another question, is it compulsory for students to take part in CCAs in the poly? Okay, it is not compulsory for students to take part in CCA. However, they are strongly encouraged to take up a CCA for holistic development. All right. Why do we say so? Because having a CCA will provide opportunities for you, just like what Kelly mentioned just now, to actually know more friends and sometimes friends from another level, from another course, that will actually somehow or another sometimes able to give you some kind of network that will give you opportunities in time to come that you've not expected. Joining in a CCA will also train you in your interpersonal skills, especially for some of us who are introverts. We might find it very difficult to actually speak to other people. And worse still, if let's say we don't join a CCA to get to know other people, next time when you go out to work, these opportunities and all that might become actually narrower. And also in terms of your interviewing with your prospective, your employer and all that, they might also want to find out, hey, these students, besides knowing how to study, besides doing well in his or her academic studies, what else is she good at? So if you can show him or her, your prospective employer, that, hey, I am also very good at organizing camps, I am also very good at doing MC, I am also very good at doing projects and all that with a group of people, it tells them a lot about you and about your ability to work as a team, and also things like your time management. So all these things are things that people can see from your participation in CCA besides your grades itself and your diploma. Okay. Oh, this is an interesting question. We have an interesting question over here. It says, can I progress into NIE, teaching diploma after graduating with this diploma itself? Okay, so this diploma teaches you to become a preschool teacher. So it trains you to become a preschool teacher. So if you want to go into NIE for the teaching diploma, you can actually look into their website to see whether if that's eligible for you. Okay, so just like any other diploma students who have graduated from the poly itself, the entitlement is there for you to actually go into the NIE website to look to see whether if, let's say, the courses are actually available for you to actually take up from. And okay, there is a question. What's the difference between going out to work right after graduating and furthering our studies instead? I think it depends on your priorities. There are some advice that we give to our students, after graduating right away from the poly itself, do you further your studies? Sometimes it's really dependent on your own choices as well as your priorities in life. Some of you might feel that, after poly, I really just want to study for a degree, and then, then I head out to work. Some of us might feel, and I feel personally for myself, I feel that this takes a more mature approach, that if you decide after your poly that you want to work, and then thereafter you decide for yourself, hey, I need a degree to actually go further in my career. Because tendency is for us, sometimes we just want to, go all the way to finish our diploma, and then, finish our degree so that we don't touch our books anymore and all that. And sometimes as we look at our peers, we realize that, wow, everybody is doing that. If I don't do that, then everybody will take a degree or have a degree before me. But actually, in this particular profession, being a preschool educator, besides your academic qualification, your experience is also very, very important. So when you go out and study in your degree, when your lecturers, when your professors were to actually come to you with assignments and all that, your experience working in a preschool will be very important, will come in very handy, especially when you answer questions for your assignments and all that. Another one thing that we actually point out to our students would be to consider the class profile of, that you will be having your degree class with. Because once you graduate and you right away you study, immediately, sometimes the people that you see in that same class for your degree class would most likely be the same group of students that you are, same group of friends, or maybe from Ngee Ann Poly or together with TP Poly, just graduate at the same time. So when there are assignments or learning journeys that is required by your professors to say that, oh, can you, go to some centers, find out and all these kind of things, you might not have that kind of network, and you might not be able to have that kind of, contact to be able to actually tap on. However, if you work and then thereafter you start to go for your degree, you will realize that the class profile, the classmates that you attend your degree classes with, are people from different walks of life. They can be, principals, they can be senior teachers, they can be curriculum specialists and all that. And because of that, the kind of discussion that you have at your degree course for your various assignments and all that will also be much richer. I mean, that's coming from me personally, but it all goes back to your priorities, in terms of like, what is it that you want to do? Yeah. Okay, maybe one last few questions that we have. Okay, so for cross-campus learning, remember just now we mentioned about cross-campus learning, that, as a TP student in your third year, if let's say, hey, I'm interested to actually, know more about, drama and all that, can I take it over at MP? There is this particular choice, which is called the cross-campus learning. Does it only happen in year 3? Yes, it only happens in year 3, because year 3 is that year whereby we get the students to actually do the electives. So you study your electives in your year 3 itself. Do we have to travel to MP campus to attend the lesson? If you want to do this cross-campus learning elective, yes, you have to travel to MP campus. And similarly for MP campus students, if they want to embark on this cross-campus learning, yes, they will have to come over here, which is what they want in the very first place, to see a new campus, to make new friends in the new, in a new campus, in the other campus. But you won't be doing it alone, huh? Definitely for this cross-campus program, there will usually be a class of maybe 15 or 10 or 15 or 20 kind of thing. So you won't be doing it alone, that you're the only person that is sitting amongst all the other people who's from another campus. No, it wouldn't be that case. Okay. All right, maybe one last question. Let me see. What's the difference between going to work right after graduation? Okay, so that one has been answered already. Okay, if we do not have any other questions, maybe we can go on to the next part of our presentation. All right, so this is actually a quote that we have. Being an early childhood educator is not a privilege. It's not only a privileged profession. So early childhood educator is a privileged profession, because you're not dealing with presentation slides. You're not dealing with cargo or documents that you can wait later. Not that they are not important, but for presentation slides, for cargos or for documents, they can wait later. But you are constantly impacting lives as a preschool educator. So the very action that you take in putting, a plaster on a child or hugging a crying child in school makes a lot of difference to that tiny little human who is right before your eyes. So as educators, we are also the voice for the children under our care. So remember Kelly just now was mentioning about, her playgroup children. Sometimes they might not at that age whereby they can actually tell you in full sentences. So I remember when I was a teacher, I had a 5-year-old child in my class whose mommy gave birth to a boy, baby boy. So this particular child had a hard time adjusting to this new relationship at home. And mommy was telling us that, hey, she felt that the boy didn't quite behave like how an older brother should. So I had to speak up for him because he couldn't tell what was on his mind, right? So I had to speak up for him, my student, because this might be the second time the parents are having a baby at home, but it is his first time being a big brother. So previously he had everything to himself. He can laugh, he can bounce the ball, run around screaming when they play catching and all that. But now he suddenly have to learn how to share. he suddenly has to learn how to be gentle. He now has to learn how to tiptoe around the house because the baby is sleeping. So he has to learn how to shut the door gently. And all these things are new to him. So we also need to give him time to learn how to be an older brother, to learn how to adjust to having a younger sibling at home. And in this case, what we are doing as educators, or what I was doing, was we were the voice for the child. So when I spoke to the mom to let her understand that, hey, this is also the first time that he's being a big brother, it allows the parents to see them in another light, that, oh, okay, so the boy wasn't trying to be naughty or trying to be uncooperative or trying to be unkind. He is also learning how to be an older sibling. So we hear many stories of students who have told us during interviews when we ask them, why do you want to become, why do you want to come to this diploma? Because they themselves experienced a very nurturing preschool teacher when they were young. So if you aspire to be one who will inspire others, we look forward to hearing from you in time to come. Yep, next slide. So do follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram at NIEC Singapore at TP ECDE. All right, so there will be some teaching tips as well as inspiring stories and event updates. So do follow us at all this, okay? And last but not least, you can actually scan the QR code below to receive updates on our courses and events. All right, so without further ado, we want to thank you for joining us for this particular session. We thank you for being so patient with us and hearing us out. Thank you very much and have a good evening.